You got famine dictionary definition.
You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line in the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. You listening to Precept on Precept. Captain Shim break it down to no meat left. Line upon line, the word make you respect. History collegiate when we teach it, brains reset. Putting in the work for the most high.
Israel united in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Hey, welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept on this Thursday night. We got a great show for you tonight. We are your hosts. I'm Captain Shim.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
So y'all stay tuned. Look, before we begin tonight's show, we're going to start off like we usually do with Officer Micah in the Watchman Report. Check our new angle tonight. We got to try something a little bit new, see how we like it. If it doesn't work out, we'll go to the old way.
Hey, disclaimer, I'm not fat. I look fat on here, but I'm not. Just a disclaimer. I'm under
Hey,
him.
Micah's head look how big Micah's head look. I got a little head. And oh, I see what yeah. Damn, man.
Yeah, I look fat. Like my arm looks skinny,
Damn.
but my body looks fat.
This is a weird setup. Thanks a lot, tech team. Oh my Lord. All right, take it away, Officer Micah. Watchman Report.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ blessed. Let's get right to it. Don't want to hold up the show. First article, please. Russian officer, missile to carry several hypersonic weapons. So Russia, they still not playing. Next article, please. Biden claims school children don't belong to parents when they're in the classroom.
Wow.
Smoking Joe is at it again. It gets worse. Next article. All right. Moderna seeks emergency use authorization for COVID-19 vaccine for children ages 6 months through 5 years. They coming after the kids, y'all. And finally, come on, one more. Where is it at? Come on, go back. Come on, can't find it. Something went wrong. All right, so that'll conclude. All right, so that concludes the Watchman Report.
So they're trying to vaccine the kids 5 months to 5 years? Or 6 months to 5 years?
Yes, the last article was Fauci saying that the pandemic has passed, but still.
That's what I was about to ask that. Like,
that was the last article.
I don't even remember people getting. I think this last wave with the what is it, Delta? That was the last one. Right?
Was the
Omicron, the Omarion.
Yep.
That was the last one that I remember because we got sick off that one. I mean, even that one got us sick, but we bounced back from it. All praise to the Lord. But I ain't heard of nobody being sick from COVID in a minute.
Right. Well, look, y'all. Like we usually do, start off showing the. Is it a GIF or is it a meme? I always get them confused.
It's actually a thumbnail.
Thumbnail. I think brothers, and like as we get closer to 50 years old, we just say like general stuff. So this thumbnail, all right, check it out. So you do see a very pretty sister looking like she's very downtrodden. She is that's Israel all day, and she's got her child. She looks like she's being treated. She's got a band on her right wrist, which means she's going through something hardcore. And in the back, you see a older black man's hand holding a bowl with two hands. And you also see in the back, you see dried corn. I don't know if y'all noticed that. There's corn, but it's dried. Corn is supposed to be green at the time of harvest. So, and tonight's show is, we're going to get into that. So before we do that, all praises, and we want to say thank you, all y'all, for joining us here. And I would encourage all of you, we're on our journey for 12,000 subscribers on IUIC New Orleans. I encourage all of you to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell notification, so every time we have a new video, you're going to be notified. In addition to that, in the comment section, you can tell us things that you're interested in. All right, we try to bring content that we think that you're going to enjoy, and we try to approach it at a breaking it down. All right, so tonight I want to show you historically that our forefathers went through famines, prepared for famines, and left us a map of how to fight the next famine. So we're going to start first with some scriptures. Give me the book of Genesis. And we have what we always do. We always get a multitude of videos and articles that we've gotten through the last couple of days. Today it was actually went right to Thursday, but and we never get to them all. So we encourage y'all to do the research on your own as well. So Genesis chapter 12, verse 10, to start with that. Remember, Paul said, he said, whatsoever thing is written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Why do you have to have hope? Because a lot of us have never been through a famine. Some of you had tough times. You missed a meal here and there. The lights get cut off. I think all of us have been through that. But when the famine comes and you can't get food for extended periods of time, then we're all going to realize what we're going to go through this. And this is biblical. Genesis chapter 12, verse 10.
Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there.
So read it again, please, Officer Micah.
And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there.
So I'm starting here because this is during the time of Genesis chapter 12. This is before Jacob was born. This is before Joseph was born. So famines have been throughout the history, right? And guess what? Abram commanded his house. Matter of fact, let me see where I can see where that's at. Nope, I don't want that. Yeah, get me that real quick. Just came to me. Abram, before he was changed to Abraham, he feared the Lord, all right? And that's why the Lord kept him through that famine. But I want the command of this house. Is it 18 and... Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 18, verse 19.
Come on.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment.
That's right.
That the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he had spoken of him.
So when the moral is of the story is when we keep the commandments, the Lord can make us survive through the famine. And the famine is coming. And a lot of you folks at home and different IUIC camps, if you brothers are not following leadership's counsel and preparing your food storehouses with dried, non-perishable, packed in vacuum seals with Mylar bags and airtight compartments, long-term, large quantities of food, you're living in a false sense of security. You're not paying attention. Tonight's show, we're going to get into it. Next scripture, real quick. I just want to set the stage. Give me the book of Genesis 41:54. Now we're going to go much further forward in history. Much further forward. Genesis 41, verse 54.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 54.
Uh-huh.
And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said.
Now Joseph, remember Jacob had his sons and Joseph. Remember Joseph had Ephraim and Manasseh, which went to become the tribe of Ephraim, the tribe of Manasseh. So now read it again, please.
And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
Read it again.
And the 7 years of dearth began to come.
The 7 years of dearth is talking about the famine. So there was 7 years of plenty and 7 years of dearth. Read on.
According as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands.
Wait, where was the dearth at?
It was in all lands.
So we have a historical reference that the dearth was in all lands except, read on.
But in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
And why was there bread? Because God put the Spirit on your forefather, our forefather, to prepare for that time. Joseph prepared. Joseph prepared. You have to prepare. You leaders, you officers, you captains, we have to prepare. And if you're not doing that, then you're not studying this Bible. One more scripture, and I just give me 1 Kings 18:1, and we're gonna move on after this. What am I showing us is that there are multiple accounts of famine historically throughout the Bible. And the righteous men of God, Abraham wasn't an Israelite. Abraham was a son of God. Abraham prepared. Joseph, the 12 tribes, didn't even come about yet. He had Joseph at that point, and Joseph had the dream. He understood how to prepare. He prepared, and all the lands had famine except for Egypt. Why? Because the son of God, Joseph, prepared for his people. All right, read.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1.
We get into the show. Read.
And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth.
So why would he say send rain upon the earth? Because when you don't have rain, the food stops growing. Read on.
Verse 2. And Elijah went to show himself unto Ahab.
Come on.
And there was a sore famine in Samaria.
So the Lord is showing you during this time, rain meant everything. Remember in the book of Malachi when he talks about the windows of heaven shall open up a blessing to thee. That was talking about your crops. So nowadays, guess what? What would cause a famine? Is it just going to be rain? Is that what it is? It's just going to stop raining? Tonight you're going to see on tonight's show, and Bishop talked about it on Shout Out Tuesday. We're going to touch on it a little bit more. Read on.
Verse 3. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly.
Check this out. Read it again.
And Ahab called Obadiah.
Ahab called Obadiah. Read on.
Which was the governor of his house.
He was the governor. He's the ruler of his house. Read on.
Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly.
So we had men during this time who feared the Lord greatly, who were around during the famine. What did they do? Sit on their doggone hands? Read.
Verse 4. For it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord.
The wicked woman Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord. Remember this brother Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. Read on.
That Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water.
Right, so he kept them alive. This was during the time of famine. Watch this next part. Read on.
And Ahab said unto Obadiah.
So Ahab said to Obadiah, read on.
Go into the land unto all fountains of water.
Why would he say go to the land and go to all fountains of water? Because they understood they had to keep something alive. Read on.
And unto all brooks.
What?
And unto all brooks.
They was on a water search. Why? Read on.
Peradventure we may find grass to save the horses and mules alive.
Why did I go here? Why did we go here? Because these righteous men, Obadiah in particular, said he feared the Lord greatly, had the mind to prepare. The animals are going to die. What happens if your animals die? You can't farm. They didn't have tractors back then. You can't farm. You don't have milk, right? You don't have meat. You have your cattle and your livestock was everything. The forefathers understood it's a famine. We have to be smart. We have to plan. Listen, here's the plan. You take this, you go over there, you find this out. We got to keep these animals alive. You come from a people who prepared. That's the point of showing you this. Now, the point of this show is this. We got to cut the doggone BS and start to plan and do more, okay? Tonight we're going to get into the show. So, brothers, I want to set the stage. Last thing, definition of famine. A lot of you, I'm telling y'all, you go 3 days without being to go to the grocery store, and a lot of you flip out. All right, let's read famine.
Famine, definition, extreme scarcity of food.
Scroll down just a little bit, please. Is that a screenshot? Okay, scroll down a little bit.
Hey, y'all got the Merriam-Webster dictionary source?
If you could
Look, all you got to do is scroll down. There should be a link right there.
There we go. So while we're getting this, just understand this. We have forefathers. It looked funny, this shot. I look like a little twig. Officer Matt, Officer Matt looked like he, 300 pounds. Michael looked like the Incredible Hulk. It looked weird. One of our guys, Gabe, I'm trying to get him on the Fat Chat program. He's back there looking like about 300 pounds of blubber. I crack on these dudes. I don't give a damn. Shut up, Gabe. All right, Rick, let me see that. It's hot in here. Damn. Famine.
Famine. Definition of famine. An extreme scarcity of food.
I like 4. Read 4. Read 4.
A great shortage.
Look at number 2 where it says, go back up a little bit.
Go back up.
Look at number 2, archaic, starvation.
Damn. So starvation. Oh, look at number 4. But when we read a great shortage, in the bottom it says transportation problems resulted in a coal famine. So this famine is of food, but it's also of fuel. Famine can be of many. Famine can be of information. Famine can be of banking. It could be of money. There's a lot of ways that they can cause a famine, and we're gonna prove it tonight. So with that, we're gonna jump right into the show. I hope we got everybody's attention. So we're gonna start right down the line. So I want to start first with that article. It is called Exclusive Food. So number 1. So why? Remember in the past we read that it was basically a lack of rain that caused the famine, biblically. Today, there's water sources, there's helicopters, there's pipelines. There's easily a way to get water to places. It's not going to be a shortage of. Now, water will hurt it, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be something else. Let's read that article. And please, brothers, at any time, make points. We're going to keep this show serious as a heart attack.
Exclusive food shortages magnified by string of destroyed food processing facilities.
Now, I want us to understand something. Google for me, and I think it's the end of February, when did the Russian-Ukraine war start? I believe it was February 23rd or February 24th. And we're going to use that time as a reference point, because as we find out, a lot of this stuff that's happening is happening after or slightly before the Ukraine war.
February 24th.
So now, let's keep that in the back of our mind. Remember, Obadiah was a man that feared the Lord greatly. The famine came and he started to prepare to keep the animals alive. Let's search out the brooks, find grass to feed the cattle, keep them alive. Read the article, please.
Last Thursday, firefighters contended with a massive blaze at California's Taylor Farms plant. That same day, an airplane crashed into Idaho's Gem State Processing Facility.
So now, go ahead, Mikhail. You about to jump into it.
Man, this can't be a coincidence. That doesn't sound like that's by happenstance. The same day that there's a fire at one plant, a plane crashes into another plant? Come on, man.
A plane crash. Where's the investigation?
Right.
I mean, that's some serious investigation. A plane fell out of the sky,
And
just so
nobody said
happened to
nothing.
land on a food processing facility.
And nobody says anything?
Not a car dealership.
No.
Not a strip club or Hooters. It have a food distribution plant.
I wish I could turn my face into Gary Coleman. You know, Gary Coleman had that face.
What you talking about, Willis?
Something ain't right about that. Something ain't right about that whole picture.
Right.
So check this out. So, and you might say, well, two things, but we're gonna show you that this. I remember we was teaching the show, and we were like, yo, this really could be a war. We were sitting around. It was in January. We're like, this could be a war. We've seen the war start. Now we're seeing them. Well, they created the pandemic with the COVID-19. They created that. The next phase is they're creating a planned starvation. What's the meme it's called? Akim, what do you call it? Systemic starvation. Systemic starvation. They are creating this right now. Okay? And they prep your mind for it with, remember, if they intentionally cause delays at the shipping ports, we're already conditioned to that. Mm-hmm. We saw 110 ships off the port of Long Beach. So that's not going to surprise us. All of these things, international shipping, is all to prepare your mind when it's, the reason why this is going on, we had the COVID-19, and then they condition your mind. Condition your mind so when they hit you what they really want to hit you, to see what happens, and we're stuck on stupid. You better start preparing right now. All right, read on the article.
Editor's notes, the Western Standard also covered the instance of destroyed food processing facilities globally within the last 2 years in a separate article.
So there have been multiple over the last 2 years of separate, of different times when things have been destroyed, food distribution. Now, scroll up. I want to just read the date. I want to read the date. I think the date was April 24th.
Scroll up.
Your other up.
Up.
So it was published 5 days ago on April 23rd. So this is April 23rd. That this article is, okay, let's scroll down. All right.
Food shortages have been exacerbated by a string of fires, plane crashes, and explosions at nearly 24 food processing facilities across Canada and the U.S.
So go ahead. So 24 is 24. So, well, wait a minute. If there's 24 food shortage that's being destroyed, maybe it could be coincidence if, let's say, 3 or 4, right? 24. Now, let's just think, around the table, let's just think of what are some ways that food distribution companies and processing plants could actually be destroyed when 2-3 years ago they never had answers like that. So let's just think about it. Okay, I'll think of one. Accidental fires. An accidental fire.
Plane crashes.
I mean, Bill Gates is a farmer now. Like, he's buying up all kind of farming land and stuff. Like, I mean, the guy builds keyboards, but now he's a farmer.
Right. He's buying all the land up.
Why there ain't no investigation with the plane crash though?
Yeah,
Right.
That's what I'm tripping on.
them planes cost money.
How you have 2 people die in a plane crash that landed on top of a food facility and you don't investigate it? Who authorized it?
In that article, it also said explosions. What is going on in the food processing plant that can cause an explosion?
Those of y'all who work at food processing plants, can you write in the comments whether or not there are combustible things that could just spontaneously combust?
And can we, if possible, can we just see how much a Boeing 757 costs? How much that costs? 'Cause people, they usually investigate them once they fall out of the sky. Now, I'm not.
I've seen the whole documentary on Netflix about the Boeing 750. They investigate them things all the time when they fall out the sky, because that's supposed to be the, well, bad analogy, but that's supposed to be the Titanic of the air.
No, in our reality, what happens when we had them in the military, when something went wrong with them, the first thing that they check is the fuel. They investigate that fuel. Like if a plane falls out of the sky, we got to check that JP8. What's going on with the fuel? They check the fuel. It's always invested.
But did they check anything on this one?
Nope.
Damn. Many Boeing 757s can have a price tag of north of $100 million.
So you know that $100 million investment. You know they're gonna investigate that thing, bro.
Now, I'll say this. I'm not sure. I think the article talks about a small plane, but nonetheless, it's a plane. Read on. I think it does say small in defense, but I get it, man. It makes you think. It makes you think.
Yeah,
Read
because
on.
like where did the plane take off from? Where were they going?
Right.
Why did they fly over Idaho?
They have a plane log. There is a plane log, to your point. There's a plane log. They have to have documentation. I believe they have a black box in even the small planes. So what was their flight pattern? What caused them to deviate from that flight pattern? To your point, and let's see if we ever find that out. Now, read on. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Come on.
The most recent happened on Thursday in Georgia when a small plane crashed shortly after takeoff into a General Mills plant just east of Atlanta.
General Mills is one of the major processing plants of cereals and other processed foods. Okay? Let's scroll down. Let's look at a massive fire.
A massive fire on Monday night destroyed parts of the Missouri Standard headquarters in Oregon.
So now it's a different state. That was Atlanta. Now we're sheer across the western portion of the United States in Oregon, right? South of Washington. Read on.
A company that self-describes as the USA's largest independent food distributor.
Let's say they're wrong in their top 5. Let's just say they're top 5. Top 5 USA largest independent food distributor, meaning they handle a lot of needs for the United States. How is it that they now have a massive fire? That's 3 events now. But remember, there was 24 that has happened. Scroll to the top of the article. I want to see what is the time period they're giving us. Scroll down just a little bit, please. I want to see the first paragraph. Hold up. Okay, real quick. Food shortages have been exacerbated by a string of fires, plane crashes, and explosions at nearly 24 food processing plant facilities across the Canada and the U.S. So they're not giving us a time frame, but it is 2 years. Okay, all right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. So 2 years these things have been happening. Interesting. Scroll down.
So that thing in Georgia happened Thursday.
And then the other thing happened on Monday. All right, so look. Okay, now, agriculture. Salinas, California.
April 13th.
Scroll. See where it says Salinas, California, right? So here's another situation that was reported Wednesday night.
Up.
There we go. So here we go. I'm going to read. Last Thursday, firefighters contended with a massive blaze at Taylor Farms packaged salad plant in Salinas, California, a key agricultural region 177 kilometers south of San Francisco. The fire broke out late Wednesday night as reported by KTLA. Hold up. So that's last Thursday night. That's a key agricultural, that is major. Now, the same day, an airplane crashed into Idaho's Gem State Processing, but that's another plane crash. That's different than the other plane crash we read about it. A plant said to process 18,000 acres worth of potatoes each year. The pilot of the plane did not survive. However, no employees were injured. Isn't that strange how the pilot doesn't survive? And you wonder why they call America the Great Satan. You never realized and never thought that some of these second-generational foreign nationals who are already here like caterpillars, they get the call. They could have been working in these key places. They get the call, hey, I need you to get in there, mess it up, and blow up this facility. Okay? The United States is hated throughout the doggone earth. Okay? And don't be surprised if their own operatives cause this famine and then go ahead and blame it on Russia. Russia's sending secret spies over to do this just so they can go start World War III if the Lord allowed it to happen. Go ahead, Sir Matt.
It's crazy that the pilot died, but nobody in the facility died. Nobody was even injured. That sounds like they moved out the way.
This is crazy.
They making salad. They're not making nitroglycerin and all
right.
of a sudden something just
something blows up.
Salad just catch
lettuce.
on fire.
lettuce just ignited.
Oh, look at April 13th. Look at the next one. We can go on and on and on. Remember, there's 24 incidents at least. So look, April 13th. On April 13th, so this was about 2 weeks ago, right? A little 15 days ago. On April 13th, firefighters from several departments in Maine helped battle a massive fire, not a one alarm, a massive fire that destroyed East Conway Beef and Pork Butcher Shop and a meat marketing center, Conway, New Hampshire. So there's another beef and pork. Now, we don't eat pork, but beef is an important food. Let's
from
Go ahead.
one side of the continent to the other side. This is strategic.
absolutely. Is there any more that we want to take a look at before we move on to the next article?
It's that last part right under cap. It said they couldn't indicate what started the fire, so beef just spontaneously combusted.
Right,
Esau the devil. Investigators did not indicate what caused the fire.
right, and it was a major fire. So you don't know what caused a major fire. Now look, let's go down real quick, past that picture. So look at the next one. Let's look at here is a photo from Jonesboro. Here we go. The Penobscot McCrum potato processing facility in Belfast, Maine, was also destroyed by a fire in March. Officials have believed a deep fryer was behind the fire. What I'd like to know is, has there ever been a deep fryer fire at any other food in the history of mankind? But you see how Esau will there's something going on. And to your point, Officer Mikhail, earlier, they absolutely are planning this, and they're doing it in a way, and they're telling us to keep us stupid, like we can't see through the lies. You can't see through this. And all of this that we read has been after the Ukraine war has started. Just like how they had these with Kazakhstan, how they sent infiltrators in there to cause an uprising, right? They do these different things. Years ago, they were protesting the dairy industry, and they would stand and make human chains and to block the processing of the transportation of milk and beef on cattle farms. So a lot of this is planned. And the point of us bringing this out is we know that they're causing these problems. We know that there are enemies. But what are we going to do about it? I'm going to keep asking that question. What are we going to do as leaders about it? We see it in the news. We know what they're doing. It's not a shock anymore. They're strategically disrupting the food industry to what? Because they want to destroy the 12 tribes of Israel. The poor Edomites, they don't care about them, whatever. Okay? But the well-to-do of Esau already has a plan. They've been had a plan. Yep. It's time that we get our plan. We got to get our plan.
They've been having them underground bunkers in Colorado for decades now.
Right.
They got whole cities
Since the 50s.
underground that they've been storing food and having everything all set for themselves.
You know, I worked in restaurants for about 7 or 8 years around industrial deep fryers, and not once have I ever seen a deep fryer catch on fire. In fact, these deep fryers have a mechanism where they shut off if they get too hot. So I don't see how a deep fryer could be behind the.
Look, there's more. Well, look, scroll down where it says a third fire in February. So this is serious. We're not talking about one McDonald's had a fire in the bathroom. These are serious. Look at the third fire. It says a third fire in February caused the Lewis Dreyfus Company's Claypool, Indiana soybean processing and biodiesel plant, the largest fully integrated soybean processing plant in the United States, to suspend production. So is another fire at this major soybean processing. Look at how much soy and soybeans. Look at the ingredients of many different things you eat. It's got soybean oil. It's got all types of soy in it. That's the largest in the United States. Look at the next one. A blaze at a poultry processing plant in Hamilton region of Ontario, Canada. In January, caused extensive damage, but caused no injuries. The multiple alarm fire, as reported by Global News, will cost millions of repairs. So the list goes on, and we're not making this up. Y'all research it for yourself. They are planning a starvation. Starvation event. They're planning a
Hey, put
famine.
the article
Go back
up.
to that. They got one in Louisiana.
Yep. Lacombe.
Firefighters responded to a fire in January at the Cargill Nutrina plant in Lecomte, Louisiana. The fire took more than 12 hours to put out. And I watch the news a lot. I ain't heard nothing about this in the
Me
news.
neither.
Nothing. I ain't heard nothing about this. Is in a city that's not too far from New Orleans. I ain't never heard nothing about this. And this happened in January.
Yeah.
They took them 12 hours to put the fire out.
This is madness, y'all. And look, we read the rest of the article. This article goes on and on and on. And these are things that have happened within the last 6 months. And we can go back to 2 years. So what they're already starting. It's an attack. Now, it's 10:20. I can't believe how fast this is going by. Go ahead and we're going to go right down to the General Mills food processing plant. I think this is an actual. And you know why I got this one? Because this is from a website called Firefighter Nation. So if this made a fire, this is where all professional fire chiefs and they have content. So we're going to read about Cedar Rapids. Let's go ahead and read this real quick. We're going to try to skim through this. Officer Michael, read that real quick.
Yes, sir. General Mills food processing plant in Cedar Rapids catches fire. Cedar Rapids firefighters responded to a fire Saturday morning on the roof of the General Mills food processing plant. Cedar Rapids firefighters responded to a fire Saturday morning on the roof of General Mills food processing plant. Why did he say that twice? The fire broke out around 3:45 a.m. at the General Mills manufacturing site at 4800 Inglewood Road, Southwest, according to the Cedar Rapids Fire Department. That's a video. It's 25 seconds.
See if we might be able to play that if it's not too much trouble. So as we wait to get this, y'all, just understand that they're planning this. And if they can plan over 24 in the last 2 years, what could they do in the next year? It's happening right before our eyes. So what is the solution? Y'all better learn to start storing your own food, and you better learn to start growing your own food and processing. A lot of us, we don't realize the power we have. You have land, you can dig a lake. You can dig a pond, or you can stock fish. Some brothers, shout out to Houston Captain Yadon, you can you can raise quail and eat the eggs thereof. You can raise chicken and eat the eggs thereof. You can raise goats, okay? And we can survive off a lot less than we think we can. We need fresh fruits and vegetables. We need fruit trees. We need, matter of fact, get me that in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. It's chapter 2. While we wait for that, because the solution is, it says, I made me great works.
Yes, sir, I got it.
The solution is, again, we look to our forefather during the famine. They went out to find brooks and streams and grass to feed the cattle because they knew that the cattle was their lifeline. They had to keep the animals alive. Well, nowadays, it's not going to be so much as a water famine. It's going to be other things, and we're reading about it. So, in the spirit of our forefathers, how do we prepare? Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
I made me great works.
Great work, so it's work. You got to put in work, right? Come on.
I builded me houses.
So, yes, Solomon built houses. Read on.
I planted me vineyards.
He planted vineyards, great vineyards. Other things, you could have a cucumber vineyard. Vineyards are fruit that grows from a vine. Cucumbers grow from the vine. Melon grow from the vine. Watermelon grow from the vine. Grapes grow from the vine. Read on.
I made me gardens.
Come on.
And orchards.
Come on.
And I planted trees in them.
Trees in them orchards. He said he planted trees in the orchards. Read on.
I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruit.
How did he water them? Read on.
I made me pools of water.
He said what?
I made me pools of water.
Our forefathers planned for irrigation. So when the rain didn't come, they know how to store water to help to redirect for their fruit trees. This is the Bible we're reading. So we have a reference point. We have to start doing more with our gardens. Wake up. Stop playing games. And that's why we start right here in New Orleans. And we have to get on these brothers down here. We got to do more. We have to be leaders, especially you brothers in southern climates. You have more of a growing season. You have more resources. Utilize it. Read it again.
I made me pools of water.
Come on.
To water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees.
Why he said the wood that bring forth trees? Because the stock of the tree, that's what brings the water up through the roots all the way to the leaves to bring to the fruit. They understood that. Water is life. You have to take care of and water your crops. Read on.
Verse 7. I got me servants and maids.
That's it on that. Let's go ahead and play that video. 5 minutes, got you. This doesn't really do it justice, man. And this all happened early in the morning. Early in the morning. We see a pattern where no one's injured. The pilot would die or this would happen, but no one was injured. You would figure that a fire might happen during the busiest, most commotion times. And why are they happening in the middle of the night when no one workers are there? Some of it could be coincidental, but not all of it. We got to wake up. We better wake up, y'all. They're trying to kill us.
I think it was a bomb inside of there, and they ignited it. Period.
I believe it. I agree with you.
If this is planned, I mean, with each strain of the virus that came out, we like, how you know that? Because they planned it. Oh, a famine is coming in 2 years, Joe Biden said. How you know that? Because you're planning for it. If they couldn't get us with the virus, with the vaccine, couldn't kill us that way, a lot of us was like, I ain't taking that. Now they're going to starve you to death. Or they're going to starve you, make you run yourself mad, and you kill each other. Either way, population decrease.
It's crazy. All right, next order, we're gonna move on. There's a lot of content here. If you go, we're gonna write down. Let's go to number 3. It says Shearer's Foods lays off staff at the Hermiston plant destroyed by fire. Now, this particular plant, this happened damn near right before the Ukraine war, and this was a major center, and everybody got laid off, and a lot of them was Jake. We're gonna let's play the video. There's a couple of videos. I don't know if you can play it. There's a YouTube video. See which one you can play. In the meantime, as you look, can we read the article while we wait to load that, or? All right. So go ahead and read that.
Hermiston, Oregon, I think that's it. Shearer's Food has announced it will lay off staff from the company's Eastern Oregon manufacturing facility near Hermiston that burned down on the afternoon of February the 22nd.
So this whole thing burned down. When it says burned down, it said that they all the staff got laid off. And it was, I think when I watched the video, it was 400 of them. 400 of them. A lot of them was Jake. Read on.
After assessing the damage, it's clear that the destruction is too great to quickly rebuild and begin production in the near term. CEO Bill Nyctus said it in a press release.
So the whole plant got burnt down, and they had to lay off all the workers, all right? Check this out.
With all of these fires that's happening, right?
Right.
That means that obviously there's some mechanical defects going on in a lot of these facilities.
Right.
Why haven't they come up with a thing to say, hey, if your company has this piece of machinery, you might want to recall it because it's causing fires? Nobody is doing that yet.
Yeah, because you can't recall Esau. That's who's causing it.
The Most High can.
Yeah, Most High recall.
Most High can. That recall is coming due because his defect is starting to mess everything up.
So let's just look at this picture. Look at the rolling fire behind it. We're about to watch this video. And if you think about this, this is how wicked Esau is. Whether it's be indirectly or directly, there is a systematic process where they are destroying food processing centers and sending a clear-cut message. So we, as the watchmen of the house of Israel, remember Ezekiel, I made you watchmen of the house of Israel. Therefore, give warning and hear the words at my mouth. We see these, we're watching. They're literally destroying places that we depend on for food. What does that tell you? You cannot trust your enemy. You cannot depend on your enemy. You have to become self-sufficient and self-reliant and plan for the worst. I really hope we take heed to this, and these are stressful times. You take the struggle, you take the sense of urgency, and you figure out how to grow your crops. You figure out how to store your food. We have a whole IUIC, we're doing big things. We got Captain Shemaiah, Captain Yadon doing things with all type of things to help with preparing. You've got a lot of other YouTube channels you can look for reference points. We don't have time to play games. You schools, make sure you're preparing. In addition, I'm telling you right now, rice and beans is great. We can eat it, but it's nice to have some frozen vegetables and fruits and maybe some eggs to go with that food if you can't get no food for a month at a time. And some of you think, I'm going to tell you, we're all spoiled. We go to the store I go to the store once a day sometimes. Sometimes you go 3 times a week, right? And you go there, you know you got your money, you're going to walk out with some food. When they start touching that, and you can't, we saw it in the beginning of the COVID-19, you couldn't get toilet paper. Driving around from city to city to find toilet paper and to get gas, for that matter. Y'all better get ready. Y'all better get ready. We got that?
Umatilla County fire crews have braved more than a day of sub-freezing temperatures, battling flames at the Shears food plant south of Hermiston.
Shaken up about it.
Corey Harris has been a warehouse worker at the plant for 16 years.
We like a big family.
And this loss has a big impact.
Shears changed a lot in people's lives. Gave them jobs, gave them opportunities to grow.
It's a big shock.
Byron Smith is Hermiston city manager. The city is providing space for company leaders to connect with employees and try to figure out what's next.
How critical is it to get this company to stay here? 1 in 30 jobs in the Hermiston zip code is attributed to Shears Foods.
From above, Tuesday, flames and smoke billowed into the air, and snapshots
Pause
from Umatilla
real quick.
County crews
So,
showed the dangerous.
To the point Officer Matthew made, if we were to look at the history of food distribution centers as large as this, what could physically cause a fire that large? You got all these people that work there. They would say something like an accidental boil explosion. Okay. All right. Well, if this was an isolated incident, all right, we could probably swallow that. The reality is, to cause a fire that destroys everything, we have to just use logic and know that they planned it. It was a planned explosion. It was triggered. Something happened. You have to see it. Just take white Christianity. Just take it out of your mind for 1 second. Think about the mind they had when they coordinated it could have been a lone guy, but he had the initiative to coordinate it, and he said, okay, I know there's 10 boilers. Well, if I set a bomb on each one, this is how you cause a fire like that. It's not just some little trash fire that happens, someone threw a cigarette. That don't happen like that. This is major industry. Anyone who's ever worked in a warehouse, you have hard floors, metal shelves, okay? You can't it has to be a major explosion to cause a fire like that. Y'all got to see this for what it is, man. You are being targeted. The American society is being targeted, and we are going to be the poor of the society, the 12 tribes, we are going to be affected the most. We better start planning. It's not a game. I know I'm kind of trying to rain on people's parade here, but y'all better be ready. You better be ready for what's about to come down the chain, all right, down the track. All right, look, stay with us. We grave tonight. Serious as a heart attack. After the break, we're going to come back. We got some more articles, some more videos to show that this is a planned, systematic famine that they're planning. All right, so y'all stay tuned. We're precept upon precept. We'll be right back. Shalom.
When this life is over and it starts again, I wanna hear, well done, welcome, well done, well done, well done. I look to the hills where my help from. I just want to hear, welcome, well done. I just want to hear.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
The Messiah is a savior and a conqueror.
Joseph, follow me. Shalom, this is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. I have an important message about your leaders in the Christian church. Your bishops, pastors, reverends, and ministers are all lying to you and leading you straight to damnation. The truth is, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Jesus Christ is a black man with white wool hair, according to Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. We as the Israelites must keep the commandments in the faith of Christ to receive salvation, as it is written in Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. I've challenged and debated Christian authorities all over the world on these issues. Not one of them has been able to negate this truth. Your pastors have led you astray, worshiping pagan holidays and false gods, just as in the days of old. So join us on our mission to restore the true nation of Israel before the decree goes forth. The work is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Visit our website at israelunite.org or call us at 855-484-4842 to learn more and visit our schools. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back to Precept Upon Precept. I'm going to plug it again. Y'all subscribe to IUIC New Orleans. Hit the bell notification. Like our videos and share our videos. We're on the quest for 15,000 subscriptions. And shout out to Tallahassee. Shout out to Miami. And brothers is on the forefront. Shout out to New York. We're trying to do big things, and we're trying to push our content. So help us grow. Help us grow. Look, tonight we're going over. Show that meme one time. A lot of people, sometimes they just come on a little bit late. We are showing you that you are living in the land of your captivity, where your enemies are planning a systemic starvation, a.k.a. a modern-day famine. We showed you in the scriptures our forefathers prepared. We show you in the scriptures that our forefathers were able to farm, were able to raise livestock and do things, and thought about how to protect their food. Solomon made pools of water to water his crops. Our forefathers in Genesis sought out water for their livestock because they were going to die. There was a drought, right? A famine. All right, next article. We are going to troop right along. Eran, I saw what you posted. It looks pretty good. let's go. This is heavy. This is some heavy. Type food wars. This is, I wish we had more time, but I'm only going to deal with the first 3 minutes. Food wars, basically what they're saying, forgive me, I'm tired, y'all. What they're saying is that in the next year, it's actually saying 6 months, there's going to be a major, major event in this country. And Bishop Nathaniel and our bishops and our deacons have been telling you this for years. What are we going to do about it? You better be a leader. I don't give a damn if you wasn't born with 2 green thumbs. I don't really care if you don't know you was raised in the city. So what? Read a book. Get on YouTube. Try it. You might fail. So what? You learn, okay, I got to put this type of fertilizer with this. Okay, I got to have the mulch. Okay, you can be successful. You will. Just put your doggone foot to the damn pavement and put your damn back into the damn thing. We got to get it done. It's not a damn game. You brothers who have land and you brothers who don't do anything with that land, you're sleeping, man, is what you're doing. All right? Play that, please.
There's so many interesting things out there right now. And one of the things that has popped up in recent days, and I would attribute part of this to an FBI warning.
This is something one of the captains share. And what I want to set the precedent is, well, the first thing he mentions is there is a federal agency that posted this message, what he's about to say, to agricultural workers, a.k.a. farmers, and people in the food distribution system. Listen to what he says. They're warning them. And this guy was probably shouldn't. He's just telling the public this is what's going on our end. Y'all hear that? On their end. Go ahead and play.
And I would attribute part of this to an FBI warning that came out just 2 days ago. Is that the thought process that our food supply system...
If you would, please, because we got fact checkers, and I love fact checkers. Rewind it just a little bit. I want that seal from the FBI. So now, every FBI has a PIN number or a track number. So, Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation. I'm looking at the insignia, right? It says 20 April 2022. There's a PIN number, 20220420-001. There's your PIN number. So now, this is a real post that he's showing that the FBI is warning people. This is from 8 days ago. Why would the FBI 8 days ago send warnings? And we're gonna play on. Let's see. Because, like I said, a famine can be caused without lack of rain. Back in the day, it was lack of rain. Today, it's not lack of rain. Okay, they in Central and South America, they create water from fog. Brother Ethan posted something. They created water from fog. They can the U.S. Navy has ways that they can take salt water and evaporate it on their ships to get. We can get the water. Water's not the problem, and neither is farmland. Iran posts an article in a minute. They're paying farmers not to farm. Okay, we got an article on that too. The issue is it's a systematic attack on all levels. Watch this. Play on.
Is that the thought process that our food supply system is under attack. And so the FBI notice was basically a warning to farmers, farming co-ops, agricultural producers, food producers, that they could be targets of cyber attacks, especially the large.
Real quick. So, brothers, you guys, some of you brothers are former military, some of you guys are tech guys. Think about this. There's different levels of a way to disrupt the food system. One way is the carnal way, which would be I plant a bomb. I physically disrupt it. But they're starting to get so slick with it, they're attacking at the cyber level. And remember when they held the pipeline ransom? You remember that?
Yes.
What they're doing now, these mastermind criminals who are most definitely Edomites, causing problems so they can start a war and just oppress people. They literally are going to have a cyber warfare and hold these agricultural major industries ransom. Because everything is computerized. Not everything, but a lot of it's computerized. The FBI is telling them, look out, you're going to be attacked with a cyber warfare approach. They're telling you that was 8 days ago. So my point is this. If they're telling you that, the FBI, for a cyber attack, you telling me that all these fires and the bombs and the planes, that's a damn coincidence. Like, we should all be scared to not do something. We're not gonna be scared. We fear the one true God. You should be scared not to put your doggone brick in now. You should be running to get the bags of rice, Mylar bags, pack dry beans, all these different grains, pack them, seal them, and you should be running to the doggone seed store. You should be running to get your transplant. Matter of fact, we only got like 30 in New Orleans. We're trying to do like 30 raised beds a month, and we dropping the ball on that. We're going to have to pick up the ball. It's not a damn game. They're attacking on different warfare. Back in the day in World War II, it was planes, trains, bombs. Warfare today is the same thing, but now they attack through the internet. They attack cyberly. We got to understand, you being attacked, Israel. Your food supply is being attacked. It's called the war of attrition.
Yep.
It's a war of attrition. Please, I don't want to hog everything.
Hey, when you think about these food processing facilities, it's nothing more than an industrial-sized farm. And when you have industrial-sized farms, the irrigation system is run by computers. So the cyber attack is the attack on the irrigation. If you do not water your plants, they can't grow. The food dies. That's one way that they're doing this.
So they can get a code in and attack various parts of these plants.
Yes.
And if you don't give them a certain amount of money, you won't be able to get it shut back on, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, a lot of the watering and the processes are automated.
Right.
So all it takes is a virus to mess some stuff up. Hey, go back to that yes. Can we read that?
Test. Yes. Potential timed to critical seasons. Summary. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, is informing food and agriculture, FA, sectors partners that ransomware actors may be more likely to attack agricultural cooperatives during critical planting and harvest seasons.
So, ransomware.
Yes.
It's not malware. It's not spyware. Ransomware is where your stuff is infiltrated and somebody remotely controls all of your computer hardware and software.
They lock you out from the inside, and all you see is, every time you try to log in, all you see is their message saying, hey, pay us this ransom, get your system back.
Yep.
That's it. That's all you're going to see.
Read on.
Causing financial loss and negatively impacting the food supply chain.
So, ransom. In order to know about this, you have to have an informant. In order to have an informant, you have to have your hand somewhere in there.
Yes.
There's something that the FBI uses, as well as certain law enforcement agencies, called ethical hacking, where they have people that know how to fight ransomware or malware or spyware or whatever. They know how to make viruses. They know how to block viruses. They know how to set up firewalls. They know how to take down firewalls. They know how to infiltrate on the internet. So in order to know that there's ransomware coming, you have to have your hand in it somewhere.
It's called the honeypot. That's what it's called, because your hand is in the honeypot.
Yes. Go back to that. The FBI noted.
The FBI noted ransomware attacks during this season against 6 grain cooperatives during the fall of 2021. Harvest and 2 attacks in early 2022 that could impact the planting season by disrupting the supply of seeds and fertilizer.
So 2 early attacks in 2022. We just ran through like 6 or 7 of them, right, Cap?
Right.
January, February.
Well, we ran through the physical attacks, and to your point, now this is even more because these attacks are cyber attacks, ransom attacks rather. So these are in addition to all the physical attacks, which were bombs, planes, so-called alleged fires.
You can control a plane with ransomware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all it is the push of a button. It's like you controlling a drone.
So you're saying that, and this is heavy, so that they could actually use cyber warfare to cause explosions and make equipment malfunction. I don't know if that's true or not.
No. They can cause a plane, because it said that the 2 pilots died, right? They didn't say that they had any bodies. All they could do is just say, oh, yeah, the 2 pilots that was in there died, but it was flown remotely.
The other thing is there could have actually really been pilots there, and they don't have any control over the plane once you hack into it and you take control of it and do what you want with it.
Wow.
They're trying to fight with the plane.
Wow.
And it crashes.
Why Bill Gates don't stop buying farmland and just go back to fix these damn computers? he the tech nerd, right? He could just, okay, I'm not going to farm. Clearly the computers are going array.
He gave that up.
Oh, okay.
He gave that up.
He might be the one with the ransomware. I don't know.
Yeah, he gave that up.
And to your point, though, Officer Michael, a lot of these, I can't pronounce that word, when you're a
philanthropist.
Anyways, they're buying up huge quantities of farmland. I wonder why this has happened in the last 3 to 4 years. I wonder why. Let's play on. So did we finish reading that? Because that right there proves with ransomware, and we've got multiple 2 attacks early 2022 and 6 grain. So about 8 total attacks in the last roughly 6 months. And if you can control, think about it, what seeds are. Seeds have to germinate, which becomes a crop, and the fertilizer is what you need to help to grow. So you hit it at the root, you hit it at the base of operation, right? When they're already the food is already developed and grown, what you gonna do then? You could stop the transportation and distribution with the trucks and the trains and the planes or whatever that's moving the product. But why not stop it at start it at the beginning? Stop it at the beginning rather. Mm-hmm. Let's play on. We only gonna play a couple minutes of this.
That they could be targets of cyber attacks, especially the larger ones who have money to pay for the ransom of these cyber attacks. And the FBI was saying this is just the perfect timing for it because food supplies are tight, as we all know. Food prices are really high. And so some of these companies, some of these larger organizations that get hacked would be most likely willing to pay the ransom to be able to feed people as well as make some money. That was the FBI's excuse for that. But it's caused a lot of speculation as to whether or not, something with the war with Ukraine and Russia might be triggering attacks on our food supply system. So what I wanted to do is go through a few things with you, and then I'm going to bring up a few things from the past couple of years to help bring this into a different type of perspective.
Now pause real quick. So what he said was key. He said the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. So if I'm trying to create a new world order and control things, well, in February or March of 2020, that's about 2 years ago, right? That's when the whole pandemic started with the COVID-19, right? And then the last 2 years, well, if you start that, they started in between that to slowly start to attack the food distribution centers. Then they also started to deal with things at ports, and they would strategically lay off certain workers. Officer Matt, we had shows on that. We went into that where you were like, well, how? It's no wonder why you don't have the people, because you're saying that if they don't have the shot, they can't work there, or you're limited the workforce, and you happen to have a temporary workforce that don't know what they're doing. We covered that on the show. The reality is it's a pandemic to the point where they have layers. First, you mess with the distribution. You slow down the distribution. Then you get people sick, and you make them think that they're sick. You make them walk around with masks on. Then it leads you up, and they did the first thing, but they slowed down the distribution. You can't get toilet paper. You can't get milk. You can't get meat. We saw that. Weeks you couldn't buy toilet paper. Weeks you couldn't buy meat. There was a time you couldn't even get gas at certain points. So then what happens? So they didn't stop all the food. They did it in waves. Now they only have 10 bags of chips as opposed to the 30 as before. I'm being exaggerative, right? Generalizing. But now, the next phase where you really hurt people, you raise up gas, get them panicking up to 440. Now it's back to 363. It dropped almost 65, 70 cents. I'm starting to feel good again. Okay. This is the whole time they've been attacking these food processing plants. And we just read the FBI has had 8 different cases that they told us about of cyber or ransom hacking. They all understand what's going on. They're going to get to the point where they're going to control the society where you are going to be at the mercy of them to get your food. So why do we keep saying this? Because we as Israelites, we have solutions to the problem. We have solutions to the problem. Now, that was it on that. That's a great Food Wars. There's a whole half hour of that. Let's go on to the next number 5. This is a short one. This is actually that's the same Hermiston plant fire. Play number 5 though, because this is a 2-minute video, and what you're going to find is a lot of these workers that work at these factories are Black and Hispanic people. A lot of these food processing are Mexicans, Blacks, Hispanics, our 12 tribes. Okay, so they're also being affected when these places close down. All right.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
Know what I just thought about? What's going to happen when Ahmed and Ming Ling, when they start calling home to mother country, complaining because they starving? What's going to happen when it's like, they don't feed us anymore? What you think going to happen? When they didn't already let in 100,000 unvetted Afghanis.
And they ain't forgot about that Somali dude or Salami.
Yeah, Soleimani.
They ain't forgot about Salami.
When they fly the flag at half-mast, the number 2 guy that they all loved.
Yeah.
Yep, they ain't forgot about that.
They killing their own, but their defenses is dropping. I mean, come on now. What you gonna do when you starve out your whole country? How you gonna protect it?
In between time, you got Russia and China. China's pointing out the fact that the U.S. is a hypocrite, and they share a border, and then you have NATO trying to encroach in the entire nation of Russia, who has the most nuclear weapons, even more than the United States. That's where the Lord is mustering up the battle, so we have to prepare. And we are victims of this society. We are the oppressed. We have to prepare for our survival. Play that video.
Nobody knows what the future holds.
Uncertainty consumes the employees of an Eastern Oregon food processing plant.
Now, pause real quick. We saw this earlier. This is one of the articles that they talked about where that huge fire, and it shut the whole plant down. It's going to find us 400 workers. They all lost their job. There was 1 in 30 jobs in the town were at this plant. So this is a serious employer. Play on.
Fire earlier in the week.
We're still kind of in shock of exactly what is going on. It feels like we're not being taken care of.
Javier Padilla and his coworkers at Shears Foods can't help but feel that way following a Thursday morning meeting with company leaders. KGW has learned employees were given a letter stating they're eligible for a minimum of 5 weeks' pay, at which point COBRA benefits kick in. Workers we spoke with believe it's only a matter of time before they're out of a job.
They just throwing us out there in the cold. They not really want to help us. They just want to just throw us out there and get rid of us.
You might recall that on Tuesday afternoon, flames tore through the Shears Foods plant, a plant that accounts for 1 in 30 jobs in Hermiston. A portable boiler powered by natural gas is to blame for the explosion that sent at least 6 people to the hospital. Fortunately, they were treated and released, but now they're facing the prospects of unemployment.
A lot of signatures.
Hold on. Natural gas don't just combust like that. It's a portable boiler powered by natural gas. That don't just combust like that. Because it's a lot of houses that are powered off of natural gas. If it just combusts like that, why would they put it in houses?
Remember, they're in shock because here you have all of a sudden everything just catch on fire. They're baffled, because the reality is they planned the explosion, right. and we can as much as this is where it goes back to Christianity. Christianity will have us as black people actually believing that these Christian good folks would never do something. And I have to fight my own mind. They would never do. No, they plan that. They plan that because when they do that to two dozen, and you start to what is the word I'm looking for? To break up the distribution centers, now it becomes old hat. We see fires all the time. 24, now you're not going to be shocked when you see 12 more this year. You're not going to be shocked. You're desensitized. It's attack on the food distribution system. And it does affect, because most of our people have those jobs. So it affects their livelihoods and their households. You saw a number of Black and Hispanic men up there talking.
Right.
You know? What else we got? We are running out of time. Doggone. 15. Okay. Yes. So let's go to number 6. So this is a very short video. We're gonna play the whole thing. This is Tyler Farms. And we read about Tyler Farms earlier. And there's a couple of things that I want us to look at. Go ahead and play that, please. I think it's number 6. I'm sorry, Taylor Farms, not Tyler Farms.
Is, of course, the Taylor Farms processing facility in Salinas, which burned overnight. It is now considered a total loss. After that monster...
So the one in East Oregon was a total loss. So now this is a total loss. The last one was a natural gas portable boiler. Let's see what this is to make a total loss of Taylor Farms, which is a major food agricultural distribution center. Play on.
Fire ripped through the building last night. Here is a live look from Skycam 8 Salinas from our KSBW 8 studios right now. This is looking toward the Taylor Farms facility on Abbott Street. And you can see there still is a little bit of smoke that is still coming from the facility. Crews are on scene monitoring the situation as we speak. And new tonight, these photos taken from a drone showing just how major this fire was. These pictures coming to us from the city of Salinas. Fire started around 7 last night during some maintenance at the facility. No injuries were reported. That is the very good news. And the cause is still under investigation tonight. All evacuation and shelter-in-place orders have been lifted in Salinas, so have all school closures. Officials have secured all hazardous materials, and they continue to keep a very close eye on this scene.
For this fire, at least in my tenure in Salinas, this one definitely had the potential to do a lot of damage, as we talked about, from the explosive threat. This is one that's will stick in my memory for a while.
So again, the building a complete loss for Taylor Farms. CEO and founder Bruce Taylor released a statement to KSBW 8 this afternoon saying in part, quote, "We are extremely grateful to all the local first responders for helping ensure the safety of all personnel on site at the facility and those in the surrounding area. The Abbott Street location was our first home in California." Again, some
he looked
firefighters
like he
remaining
took
on scene.
a bribe. His face just screams, "Pay me and I'll do whatever you want."
And are likely to remain there for at least the next couple of days. Action News 8 reporter Felix Cortez is also there, and he's live now with the very latest for us. Felix?
Why is it when a fire like that break out, they got a fire chief that, like, when somebody trying to get an insurance fraud or something, he'd go, "Nope, you start the fires right there." You mean to tell me they get stupid when it comes to something that big? They can't figure out where the fire started at?
That's what I've been asking. That's what I'm saying. No investigation at all with none of this stuff. It's like, yeah, some routine maintenance was going on. Now, I guarantee you, if this was regular, if this wasn't no planned thing, it was black dudes that did the maintenance. They'd investigate. 3 men in Salinas, California, under investigation today for allegedly setting ablaze to the Taylor Farms processing plant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when Esau behind it, it's like, oh, snap, something, freak accident, man. Just, I don't even know what happened. Yeah, let's go ahead over here and rebuild, all right? Let's just, let's leave this alone. You know, let's not even worry about this one. Let's, just keep it moving.
They'd have had Tyrone, Miguel, and Jose face all over the news.
Yep. The They would have had a documentary of it before May was out. The fire that broke everything, or
Right.
you know, Salinas in flames. The documentary of 3 Negroes who tried to burn down a processing facility. Why did they do it? What was going on in their minds?
And you know what? As you're saying it, up, so man, like I'm so desensitized. Like it don't even shock me no more. Like you're saying it to be demonstrative, but that's really what happens.
Yep.
And we're so desensitized to it. We just like, yeah, all right, it is what it is. They are attacking. The whole place burned down. They said over 24 different places in the last 2 years. We have more we could do. There's so many more we could mention. We could do 5 shows on it. We could do another hour just of telling you. So all of this is to get us to understand that we need to come up with solutions, and we need to have solutions yesterday. I want to share something that it's one of the solutions that Esau actually created, and probably was Jake that invented it. If you go to number 7, there's a video I'm going to set the stage. In Nebraska, there's an old retired Edomite that is probably the people from Florida probably want to set this dude on fire. What he's doing, he's able to take geothermal tubes, and he's able to create greenhouses with which they're growing oranges in Nebraska. Let me say that again. Nebraska is high enough latitude where nothing can grow outside. No oranges, nothing. You'd be lucky if you can get apples and maybe some peaches. So we're going to play this video. This is a solution. We got brothers, like there's aquaponics, there's hydroponics, which growing crops without soil. There is a lot of solutions that we can come up with on our own to self-sustain and take care of us in the body. We have to be pioneers. We have to start there's a thing that Bishop put up the other day. It said, hard times create strong men, right? We have to become strong real quick. Hard times is coming, and I just pray that we have the ability to be innovative. Play this video. All right, I ain't giving no credit to Esau because we probably invented the greenhouse for we go back in time. Check. We're gonna let this play for a minute. Is this? Hold up. Growing oranges in the snow? Okay. Scroll forward just a little bit so we can interest the time. Go back to the very play right here. It's good.
Lower.
Perfect.
Wow, it looks like you even have oranges.
Yeah, those are Eureka lemons. These are Valencia oranges. They're the juice orange. This one, it's a new type of mandarin.
That doesn't normally grow in Nebraska.
The what?
Citrus doesn't normally grow in Nebraska.
No, no, nowhere near. The closest ones would be probably 800 miles in Texas or somewhere.
And not a problem?
No, no, in fact, they thrive here. We can probably grow the best citrus anywhere in the world at this latitude for size and quality.
So pause real quick.
So it has something to do with the latitude. When you look at latitude, as you get closer to the equator, the latitude gets lesser, where 0 is the equator, right? So what we want to show y'all is that you have, get me Deuteronomy chapter 7, above all nations. So you have an Edomite who God did give wisdom to of this world, but he is not as good as you. And he was able to figure out how to use geothermal heat to grow oranges in Nebraska, a place where it gets -30 with a bunch of snow. And he's growing oranges and any type of fruit in a greenhouse using simple, basic equipment. If he can do that, what can we do if we have the mind to work together? All right. Read that scripture, please, Officer Micah.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
That's right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
We special. We are the special people of God. Read on.
Unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we're going to watch a video
about a man who you're above. Do some pretty impressive things with some very basic equipment. If he can do that, we can do that. We can do it better than him. If we roll in the spirit, we can take care of our own. And why am I saying this? Because a lot of y'all said, well, y'all down south, you got okay, we do have a longer growing seed. But in Nebraska, if he can do it in Nebraska, y'all could do it in New York. Y'all could do it in Maine. You could do it in all parts of the north of the United States. And even in Canada, you can do it up there. Here's a living proof. And if you get a chance, watch the whole, we don't get the time to watch the whole video, but I'm going to hit a couple key points because we know from the show and the articles and the videos that they're planning fires, explosions, plane crashing, burning down facilities, and setting the supply chain up for a major famine to come. So that's the problem. A leader has a solution. What's the solution? Grow your own damn food in mass quantities. Figure it out. Become an expert. Start saving and stockpiling food. Once we do that, now we can create farms, and we've been talking about in New Orleans. So if 3, 4, 5 brothers have a half acre and we all can grow crops in that, when the times hit the fan and we can't get this, we can freeze our own food. We can dehydrate our own fruits and vegetables. We can do things to help preserve life, okay? And we could do all the rice and beans in the world, but they get tiresome after you just eat rice and beans. Some fruits and vegetables with that. Y'all better get with the program. Play that video. All right.
For 12-month greenhouses, and we're wasting our sunshine in Nebraska during the winter. We're not growing, and we're just wasting all of this underground heat. This is one of the tubes coming out of the ground, 6-inch tubes that go down 8 foot deep and out and clear out into the yard. See where that asparagus is?
Pause
back
real
there?
quick. I got the Spirit told me to say this. Listen to me. This guy is the Israelites' enemy. And he's giving us a clue that we can grow things where it snows and gets -25. If he can do it, we can do it, and we can do it better. Play on.
It's out about 90 foot back there, and then comes around and goes in. There's 7 of them come up on the south side here. We're just using the underground heat.
Underground, it stays a certain temperature.
It's stable at 52 degrees here.
So if you have a stable temperature, you can use that both in winter and summer.
Yeah. And this blower here, this sets over 7 tubes, 6-inch tubes that go down 8 foot deep, and then when the blower goes on, it just recirculates that air continually and picks up that ground heat.
So you're just,
Pause.
the energy you're using
Pull
is...
up a map of the state of Nebraska, United States of America. Y'all gotta, this is not fake. He's taking the power of geothermal heat, which is only 8 feet down in the ground, using a series of tubes and blowers to extract the heat. And in the summertime, when it's 100 degrees in Nebraska, the heat, it cools it, so it can help to cool the greenhouse. But in the wintertime, they're able to continue, and the orange trees don't die because they stay at an even temperature. So they're able to grow. If you can grow oranges there, you can grow pretty much anything there. The point is that greenhouses is a game changer. It's a game changer. And go home and watch the rest of this video. And I'm not giving glory to no Edomite. I'm just showing you that it's just a little bit of physics and a little bit of ingenuity. We have the power. We can do this and then some. So I'm just showing you because the scriptures say without vision, the people will fail, right? Now, let's look at that. Nebraska is on par with Illinois. If you look to the right, it's Iowa, Illinois, Ohio. It is not too much further south than like Connecticut, New York. And that's the breadbasket, they call it, of the United States, but that is not a tropical or semi-tropical. You cannot grow oranges nowhere near that. He's saying that oranges grow about 800 miles to the south in Texas, and not northern Texas. You ain't growing oranges in northern Texas. You're going to be down closer to Houston, closer to below Dallas, right where that point is at. So my point is that tough times are going to call for ingenuity, creativity, and working together. You got to believe. I know we could do something like that. We could do something like that in every IUIC school up north. And when you watch the whole thing, it's not a lot. You need a backhoe. You need to make sure before you dig, you know what you're doing. You got to build and construct these greenhouses. We can do something like this. Imagine you have places, all the northern schools, they do something like that. You have lemons, limes. If you can grow oranges, lemon, limes, you can grow grapefruits. You can grow apples. Anything that you want, you can grow. You can have different greenhouses for different crops. We can sustain ourselves with fruits and veg. You can grow tomatoes in January when it's snowing outside. I hope y'all see we're going to have to come to the level where even if you're uncomfortable farming, you're going to have to learn this stuff. It's not a game. They're attacking the United States' food supply and distribution chains. They're doing it with cyber warfare. They're doing it with physical attacks, explosions, plane crashes. The FBI put out a damn warning. We got to wake up. This is a serious, this is nothing to play with. And you know why it's nothing to play with? Is when your children are telling you, Mommy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. We don't want to set ourselves up for that. We learned from our forefathers. I hope we get this. Check this out. IUIC Minneapolis seed fundraiser. All praises. Non-GMO seeds audio box today for just $30. Hey, shout out to IUIC Minneapolis. They sent us a box. Post that. Hey, all praise to the Lord. Look, and shout out to IUIC Minneapolis because you sent us. I didn't even know you sent us some seeds. And the non-GMO, non-genetically modified organic or organism seeds. So we're going to plug them. Order your box today for $30. You get corn, onions, peppers, peas, watermelon, and much more. And I'm going to tell you something. Way the hell up there in Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can do geothermal and grow oranges up there too. Okay? We can, I'm telling you, all you leaders, you ain't got to be a captain or a deacon or a bishop. A soldier is a leader. An officer is a leader. You better learn this, and we can sustain ourselves. You're going to use, it's too cold. Now you ain't got no excuse now. You can do geothermal. Look it up. Watch the rest of it. You can do it. You can do it. It's tubing you can buy at the basic hardware store. You're taking the heat from the earth, and you're literally bringing it up into a sealed, you have to seal the greenhouse and build this greenhouse right. And what it does is it keeps that heat and it retains it. And you're able to grow all these different types of crops. So Israel, we have to be proactive and be about it. Give me where there is no vision, the people fail it. It's Proverbs chapter, Bishop Yawasup scripture that he magnifies this scripture. And we need to see the vision is that we can become great, like our forefathers saw. I planted me great work. We did great works. I built vineyards and gardens. You can do it. You can grow grape vineyards in the middle of the wintertime. Okay? Somebody find that real quick.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 18.
29, I thought it was 28. Read that.
Where there is no vision, the people perish.
So we see that they're attacking our food. When I say our, we live in this country. It will directly affect us. Read on.
But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
So read it again.
Where there is no vision, the people perish.
So the vision is when the famine really does hit, if we have been planning like our forefathers and we create geothermal greenhouses in the north, we have these community gardens in the south, and we can extend that. We can even do greenhouses down here. We can grow all types of crops for 12 months out of the year, not just 4 or 5 months like y'all have up north. 12 months out of the year. We can sustain ourselves agriculturally. Why? because your enemies did it. You can. God says you're better than him. Why you can't do it? Why can't you do that? Okay? We are starting these storehouses. You can do that. We're starting it now. We can do this, Israel. Read on.
Where there is no vision, the people perish.
That's right.
But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
So that's why when we keep the law, we have the same mind. The famine is coming. Joe Biden put it out there. He said in the next 2 years, there will be a major famine epidemic in the United States. That your president stated that. Let's say he's wrong and it's 4 or 5 years from now. Doesn't matter. Or it could be sooner. We have to plan now. I don't give a damn if you grew up in the city your whole damn life. Don't mean nothing. You can get some research done. You can figure it out. We can get this done. Y'all go watch that geothermal. They're starting to do that up north. And we can do this to the point where we can have 12 months of growing season. Y'all watch it. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. I'm being dead serious. We need to get this done. And there's too many leaders in IUIC, too many soldiers, too many officers, okay, too many brothers with the right spirit that we can't make this. We can make this happen. We can do it. Check it out. Geothermal. There's some powerful stuff right there. We can do it. Shout out to IUIC Minneapolis with the organic seed drive. Y'all buy them seeds. Y'all search that out. You'll buy them seeds. We get ready to sign. Shut up. All right, it's late, y'all. We started late. We get ready to sign off. It's late. 11:21. I hope that y'all got something about it tonight. It was not a lot of jokes tonight. It's a serious show. You're being attacked. Your food system is being attacked. The FBI sent a warning out. The scriptures say that we are watchmen. Wake the hell up. There's going to be a time when you can't go to Walmart, Rouse's, Piggly Wiggly, A&P, and you can't buy food. You might be, remember we used to have lines? They don't let a certain amount of people in the store at a time? Mm-hmm. You had to wait a half hour just to get in the damn store. Then you had a limit. You could buy one of this. They're trying to prepare your mind for that. Well, if we have our own food and we've rationed and we've done the right thing, we're not going to depend on these doggone grocery stores. And I know it's a big vision because it's a lot of work that needs to be done. But your forefather, King Solomon, he organized and ordered Israel. So we had great gardens and we had great systems. And Jeremiah talked about in captivity, plant ye gardens, eat the fruit thereof. It's not a game. It's coming and it's coming soon. You better start getting it together. Check out the geothermal. Check out the geothermal, y'all. With that, listen, we're precept upon precept. I know y'all, thanks for staying up with us. I'm tired. I know we tired. We're tired together. With that, we're going to take it right out, Gabe.
Yes, sir.
All right, with that, we precept upon precept. With that, we say
Shalom.